Oh, hello, this is Tak Chung of Walk with Tak. My YouTube channel is to help you to make home cooking as part of your daily routine. The reason is that this will allow you to eliminate the consumption of fast and ultra-processed food so you can prepare your food from scratch using all fresh ingredients. However, for most people, they normally have only about 30 minutes to prepare a meal. And that is usually insufficient to create a home-cooked meal using the traditional approach. So this is the reason I developed the fast cooking system, which stands for Flavor Chasing, Advanced Prepping, Stir-Frying, and Template-Based Cooking, that will allow you to prepare a meal from scratch using all fresh ingredients in 35 minutes. But it also makes it interesting. In this video, I'm going to demonstrate to you how to prepare a delicious fried rice using Brussels sprouts. Now, Brussels sprouts is interesting and very few people will think of it using it in fried rice. In fact, this is the first time I use it in fried rice. But with some modifications and by using a template, you can easily incorporate Brussels sprouts into a fried rice. The key is that is cut them up into small pieces. Now, in addition to Brussels sprouts, I would also like to include broccoli. Now, broccoli has a great flavor. Again, in order to incorporate broccoli into this fried rice, I need to make the modification by cutting up into small pieces so they will fit into the fried rice. Now, all of this is based on a template. I'm just making adjustment so that it will adhere to the template. And next, I'm also going to include some portobello mushroom. Again, portobello mushroom is an excellent addition to the fried rice because of its great flavor and texture. So by making changes and by making adjustments to the food ingredients, you can easily create a fried rice using almost any ingredients that you would like. However, you need to make sure that you have the right strategy. Now, in this fried rice, I'm using a template that I have used for a long time for making fried rice. The first thing I need to do is to fry some egg. Now, egg is an important component of a fried rice, but there are many different ways that you can include eggs in a fried rice. In this case, I use a very efficient method to add the egg to the fried rice. And this is by cracking the egg directly into the wok instead of beating them up. Now, the efficiency is extremely important in any types of cooking because most of us do not have more than 30 minutes to prepare a meal because we are so used to eating fast and ultra-processed food because that's all the time you need to have available. Now, in this case, there's another reason why this method in cooking the egg adds a great deal to the flavor and texture of the fried rice. Most of us like fried egg. It's because we fry the egg with the egg yolk and the egg white separately, and this creates distinct flavor. And this is what makes fried rice taste good. And I can incorporate this particular aspect into the fried rice. And by using this method, I find that the egg tastes much better. And it's given me a much greater culinary experience than I have. Of course, after I fry the egg, the next is I'm going to add the rice. Now in here, I use a long grain jasmine rice. Now in order to make sure that the rice will not stick to each other or burn to the surface of the wok, the rice has to be dry and it has to be stored in the refrigerator for about 24 hours or longer. Actually, a little bit longer is even better. Now, to break up the rice is an important part of making fried rice. In this case, I use a nifty tool which used for breaking up the hamburger meat. And this tool is really useful because it's able to help you to break up the rice without having you spilling them. And I find this extremely useful. Before I use this particular tool, I use my wok spatula. And I tend to make a pretty bad mess on the countertop as well as sometimes even on the floor. Now, once you have the rice break up, the next step is to add the vegetables. Now, this is a demonstration of what I refer to as sequential stir frying, which means that you add different ingredients at different time. You add the ingredients that need to cook longer first, and then you add those ingredients that you need to cook less at a later time. This will allow you to cook all the ingredients to the same texture that you would like, so you will not overcook some or undercook the other ingredients. Since Brussels sprout takes a little bit longer to cook, so it's good to add them first. Next, I'm going to add the broccoli. Now, broccoli takes a little bit less time to cook than the Brussels sprout, and using this method, I'm able to adjust the texture of both of these ingredients to the texture that I prefer, so I will not overcook the broccoli in this case, or undercook the Brussels sprout. Okay, now this is almost done, the dish. The next is I'm going to add some portobello mushroom. Again, this is a further demonstration of the sequential stir-frying technique, because portobello mushroom takes lesser time to cook as compared to broccoli or the Brussels sprout. And this way will allow me to able to cook all the three ingredients to the texture that I want. And through experimentation, you will know when is the best time to add different ingredients. I'm going to season the ingredients with my Wok with Tak basic seasoning mix, and this seasoning mix is intended to enhance the natural flavor of the ingredients. Therefore, it's relatively mild because this dish already has great flavor coming from the Brussels sprout, broccoli, and the portobello mushroom as well as the egg. So the basic seasoning mix just help you to accentuate the natural flavor of these food ingredients. Okay, now this fried rice is done. It's a great vegetarian fried rice. This will allow you to use only these 3 different kind of vegetables and give you great flavor. So now, but I'm going to enhance this dish by including 2 additional proteins. And I'm going to use the method, I call it combinatorial stir frying, which means that I cook different ingredients separately before I combine them together. In this case, the first is chicken. I'm going to first season the chicken again with my Wok with Tak basic seasoning mix to enhance the natural flavor of the chicken. And then I'm going to add cornstarch to create a light breading. Now, I'm also going to add some sugar to it. The reason I add sugar is that the sugar will cause caramelization on the surface of the chicken. And this will actually cause slight charring of the chicken and make it almost like it has been grilled. This will make the chicken taste much better. The method I'm going to cook this chicken is a method which I refer to as shallow frying. And the reason is that because it's almost like deep frying, because I have the chicken coated with cornstarch, except that I'm going to use a pan frying approach. I'm going to fry the chicken on one side first before I turn it over to fry the other side. In many ways, the approach is very similar to deep frying because I have a breading on the surface of the chicken. The cornstarch make a great light breading as compared to flours. As you can see here now, it only takes about 30 to 45 seconds to fry one side because the chicken has been cut very thin, and under high heat, the sugar causes the chicken to char very readily. And at this point, the chicken is almost 50% done. Now, this method can be used in many other type proteins as well, but for chicken, it works really well. It gives the chicken a great flavor. And the next is I'm going to add some shrimp, and I add the shrimp again at a later time point as part of the sequential stir frying. And the reason is that the shrimp take less time to cook. I also add some ginger, which I have minced, and my wife loves ginger, and this gives the chicken and the shrimp great flavor. Now, all of this take very little time to cook because all of the ingredients are very small and cut thinly. And then I add some scallion, which I have cut into strip. This will give the dish a nice onion flavor. Last but not the least, I'm going to season the chicken with some oyster sauce. Oyster sauce is a great sauce to use because it's so flexible and you can use it to cook many different types of food ingredients. After that's done, I put it on a cutting board and I'm going to cut it up into little pieces so that it will fit into the fried rice better. And this approach will allow you to have all the ingredients about the same size. So when you eat the fried rice, you're able to taste all of them in an equal way. Because anything that is too big will stand out. And the good fried rice, you want all the ingredients to integrate well, that they match together without having any one of them to stand out on their own. This is the hallmark of a good fried rice. Okay, Now I lay all the ingredients on top of the rice, and finally I'm going to garnish it with a touch of scallion, and this will give the fried rice a nice fresh flavor. As you can see, this is a complex fried rice. I have many different ingredients, and by using this combinatorial stir-frying approach, you are able to accentuate each of those ingredients and have them to stand out, and they will give you a much better culinary experience. So home cooking does not have to be difficult, challenging, time-consuming. All you have to do is a system. Once you have a good system, you will have all the ingredients available to you when you're ready to cook with advanced prepping. And with tempeh-based cooking, you don't need a recipe. And with flavor chasing, you can cook it exactly the flavor that you love. So keep on cooking. I will see you tomorrow.